Hello, my friends, and welcome back to VerbaJoy English, where you learn English and speak with joy. This is day 2 of our 14-day English speaking challenge. You returned for the second lesson, which means you are already building consistency. Well done. Today, you will learn how to talk naturally about your daily routine, from the moment you wake up until the time you go to bed. Stay until the end, because we will complete a full speaking challenge together. By the end of this episode, you should be able to describe your day in clear, natural English. Before we begin, write this sentence in the comments. Day 2. I'm still going. This simple action shows that you completed day 1 and returned for day 2. Are you ready? Take a breath, relax, and let's begin. First, let's quickly review yesterday's lesson. Repeat these sentences after me. I am building a better English habit. I can make time for English every day. I don't need to be perfect. I need to stay consistent. Excellent. Now let's move to today's topic, your daily routine. A daily routine is a collection of activities that you normally do every day. For example, you wake up, get out of bed, brush your teeth, have breakfast, go to work, return home, and go to sleep. These activities are all parts of your daily routine. Let's practice the word routine. Routine. Daily routine. My daily routine. Now repeat this complete sentence. I'd like to tell you about my daily routine. Very good. Let's begin with the morning. Imagine that your alarm is ringing. What is the first thing you do? You might say, I wake up at 6 o'clock. Notice that wake up means to stop sleeping. Listen and repeat. I wake up at 6 o'clock. Now change the time and make the sentence true for you. I wake up at... Good. Remember that wake up and get up have different meanings. To wake up means to stop sleeping. To get up means to leave your bed. For example, I wake up at 6, but I get up at 6:15. Repeat. I wake up at 6, but I get up at 6:15. Perhaps you wake up when your alarm rings, but you stay in bed for another 10 minutes. You can say, my alarm goes off at 6 o'clock. The expression goes off means that the alarm starts making a sound. Repeat. My alarm goes off at 6 o'clock. Here is another useful expression. I press the snooze button. The snooze button stops the alarm for a few minutes. Repeat. Sometimes I press the snooze button. Be honest, do you press the snooze button? You could say, yes, I usually press it once, or no, I get up immediately. The word immediately means without waiting. Repeat. I get up immediately. After getting out of bed, you may make your bed, open the curtains, or check your phone. Listen and repeat. I make my bed. I open the curtains. I check my phone. Now let's connect these actions. After I get up, I make my bed and open the curtains. Repeat. After I get up, I make my bed and open the curtains. Excellent. Next, you probably go to the bathroom. You can say, I brush my teeth and wash my face. Repeat. I brush my teeth and wash my face. Perhaps you also take a shower. In American English, people commonly say, I take a shower. In British English, you may also hear, I have a shower, both. Expressions are correct. Repeat. I take a shower and get dressed. To get dressed means to put on your clothes. Now say, I get dressed for work, or I get dressed for school. Next comes breakfast. You can say, I have breakfast at 7 o'clock. Repeat. I have breakfast at 7 o'clock. Notice that we normally say have breakfast, not take breakfast. You may also say, I eat breakfast at 7 o'clock. However, have breakfast sounds very natural. What do you usually have for breakfast? You could say, I usually have eggs and toast. I have cereal with milk. I drink coffee and eat a sandwich. Or, I normally skip breakfast. To skip breakfast means not to eat breakfast. Listen and repeat. I usually have eggs and toast for breakfast. I always drink a cup of coffee in the morning. I sometimes skip breakfast when I'm busy. Now answer this question aloud. What do you usually have for breakfast? Wonderful. After breakfast, you prepare for your day. You may leave home, go to work, take your children to school, or begin working from home. Listen. I leave home at 7:30. Repeat. I leave home at 7:30. Now complete the sentence with your own time. I leave home at... How do you travel to work or school? You can say, I drive to work. I take the bus. I travel by train. I walk to work. Or I work from home. Repeat the sentence that is true for you. Here is an important difference. We say, I go to work. We do not usually say, I go to the work. Repeat, I go to work every morning. We also say, I go home. We do not say, I go to home. Repeat, I go home in the evening. Excellent. Now let's talk about your work day. You could begin by saying, I start work at 8 o'clock. Repeat, I start work at 8 o'clock. During the day, you may answer emails, attend meetings, speak with customers, work on a computer, visit different locations, or complete important tasks. Listen and repeat. I check my emails. I attend meetings. I speak with my colleagues. I work on different tasks. I take a short break. A colleague is someone you work with. Repeat. I speak with my colleagues during the day. Now let's make the sentences sound more natural by connecting them. I usually start work at 8. First, I check my emails. Then, I plan my tasks for the day. Repeat. I usually start work at 8. First, I check my emails. Then, I plan my tasks for the day. Very good. Words such as first, then, next, after that, and finally help you organize your ideas. Listen. First, I check my emails. Then, I attend a meeting. Next, I work on my main tasks. After that, I take a lunch break. Finally, I finish work and go home. These connecting words make your English clearer and easier to follow. Let's practice them together. First, then, next. After that, finally. Excellent. Now let's talk about lunch. You can say, I have lunch at 1 o'clock. Repeat, I have lunch at 1 o'clock. You may bring lunch from home, eat at a restaurant, or order food. Listen and repeat. I bring my lunch from home. I eat lunch with my colleagues. I sometimes order food. I usually take a 30-minute lunch break. Now answer. What time do you normally have lunch? Good. If your afternoon is busy, you can say, I usually have a busy afternoon. Repeat. I usually have a busy afternoon. If it is not busy, you could say, my afternoons are usually quiet. Repeat. My afternoons are usually quiet. What time do you finish work? You could say, I finish work at 5 o'clock. Repeat, I finish work at 5 o'clock. Now make it personal. I finish work at, after work, you may travel home. The journey between your home and workplace is called a commute. Listen, my commute takes about 30 minutes. Repeat, my commute takes about 30 minutes. You can also say, it takes me 30 minutes to get home. Repeat, it takes me 30 minutes to get home. Now complete this sentence. It takes me blank minutes to get home. Very good. When you arrive home, you may feel tired. You can say, I get home at 6 o'clock. Remember, we say get home, not get to home. Repeat, I usually get home at 6. What do you do after arriving home? You might change your clothes, take a shower, rest, drink tea, spend time with your family, or prepare dinner. Listen and repeat. I change into comfortable clothes. I relax for a few minutes. I spend time with my family. I prepare dinner. The expression wind down means to gradually relax after a busy or stressful day. Listen, I like to wind down after work. Repeat, I like to wind down after work. You can also say, listening to music helps me wind down. Repeat, listening to music helps me wind down. Excellent. Now let's talk about evening activities. You may exercise, go for a walk, watch television, read a book, study English, or talk to your family and friends. Listen and repeat. I go for a walk in the evening. I exercise 3 times a week. I watch television. After dinner, I practice English before bed. I spend time with my family. Notice the difference between these two sentences. I exercise every day. I exercise 3 times a week. Every day means each day. 3 times a week means on 3 days during the week. Now answer this question. What do you usually do in the evening? Begin your answer with, in the evening, I usually... Excellent. Now let's talk about dinner. You can say, I have dinner at 8 o'clock. Repeat, I have dinner at 8 o'clock. Perhaps you cook dinner yourself. You could say, I usually cook dinner at home. Repeat, I usually cook dinner at home, or my family and I have dinner together. Repeat, my family and I have dinner together. After dinner, you may clean the kitchen, prepare for tomorrow, or enjoy some free time, listen and repeat. I clean up after dinner. I prepare my clothes for tomorrow. I check my schedule. For the next day, I enjoy some free time before bed. Preparing things the night before can make your morning easier. Now we have reached the end of the day. You can say, I go to bed at 11 o'clock. Repeat. I go to bed at 11 o'clock. Remember the difference between go to bed and go to sleep. To go to bed means to get into your bed. To go to sleep means to begin sleeping. For example, I go to bed at 10:30, but I usually go to sleep at 11. Repeat. I go to bed at 10:30, but I go to sleep at 11. Before sleeping, you may brush your teeth, read a book, set your alarm, or check your phone. Listen and repeat. I brush my teeth before bed. I set my alarm for the morning. I read for a few minutes. I try not to use my phone in bed. Now complete this sentence. Before I go to bed, I usually... Very good. We have discussed the morning, the workday, the afternoon, the evening, and bedtime. Now let's put everything together. Listen carefully to this complete daily routine. On weekdays, my alarm goes off at 6 o'clock. I usually get up immediately, make my bed, and open the curtains. Then I brush my teeth, take a shower, and get dressed. I have eggs and toast for breakfast, and I always drink a cup of coffee. I leave home at 7:30 and drive to work. My commute takes approximately 30 minutes. I start work at 8 o'clock. First, I check my emails. Then I plan my tasks and attend meetings. I have lunch with my colleagues at 1 o'clock. I finish work at 5 and get home at around 5:30. After work, I change into comfortable clothes and relax for a few minutes. In the evening, I go for a walk, have dinner with my family, and practice English. Before bed, I prepare my clothes for the next day and set my alarm. I usually go to bed at 11 o'clock. Did you understand the routine? Don't worry if you cannot remember everything. Let's break it into shorter parts for speaking practice. Repeat after me. On weekdays, my alarm goes off at 6. I get up, make my bed and open the curtains. Then, I brush my teeth and take a shower. Have breakfast and leave home at 7:30. I start work at 8 o'clock. I check my emails and plan my tasks. I have lunch at 1 o'clock. I finish work at 5 and go home. In the evening, I relax and spend time with my family. I practice English before I go to bed. Excellent work. Now it is your turn to talk about your daily routine. Complete these sentences aloud. I usually wake up at... After I get up, for breakfast, I usually have... I go to work by... I start work at... I have lunch at... I finish work at... In the evening, I usually... Before I go to bed, I normally go to bed at... Wonderful. You have just described your daily routine in English. Now let's review today's most important expressions. My alarm goes off. I wake up. I get up. I get dressed. I have breakfast. I leave home. Start work. I take a break. I finish. Work. I get home. I wind down. I go to bed. Try to use at least 5 of these expressions when describing your day. Here is your challenge for today. Go to the comments and write 3 sentences about your daily routine. For example, I wake up at 6:30. I start work at 8 o'clock. I practice English before bed. Also write, Day 2 complete. Your comment does not need to be perfect. The purpose is to use your English. Tomorrow in Day 3, we will learn how to introduce ourselves confidently in English. You will learn how to talk about your name, hometown, family, work, interest, personality, and future goals without sounding unnatural or memorized. Subscribe to VerbaJoy English. Turn on notifications and return tomorrow for day 3. Remember, you do not need to speak quickly. You need to speak clearly and confidently. Keep listening, keep repeating, keep speaking, and keep going. This is VerbaJoy English, where you learn English and speak with joy. I'm proud of you for completing day 2. We'll see you tomorrow for day 3 of our 14-day English speaking challenge.